Hey guys, this is the longer update video, and somebody mentioned the other day, they're like, "Oh, it's not very good. You don't get few people. Don't get many people watching these videos anymore." And it kind of made me chuckle because not a single shit was given. The people that watch these videos are people that are community members, and we don't sugarcoat them. They're not little sound bites. They tend to be lengthy because we'll go into bits of information that we've been working on, and we'll try and show new things that we're working on surrounding the NFC ring project. So so let's cover the first bit of big news. So the first bit of big news is the alpha rings that are now available on the store. Don't think I have one handy. No, I mean, you guys have seen them before. So it's basically just a signature ring. They took a while to get through because we had such a high QA failure rate on the Kickstarter ones, and the reason we had a high QA failure rate is the epoxy that was applied to the surface of the ring. Well, it wasn't being polished down well enough, and there was also issues with read errors. So we just ended up basically remaking them, doing a new production run, and we've got them pretty much right now. So like the last normal classic size ring came in at about 95% QA pass, or 96 or 97. It's really high. The alphas came in at like 10% read and 5% visual fail or something. They weren't well QA checked in the factory, so obviously standards have slipped there after just one great shipment. These things happen. We did have somebody go out and check and do a QA test, but the problem is that sometimes they'll just, instead of giving you a complete sample set, they'll just put a sample set in front of you that they've already QA'd. This is just normal in business, really. But the main thing is that the alphas are now available, and it's just a signature. They're only available in the EU store because the US store isn't around yet. So there's going to be a bunch of things I'm going to cover in this long update that are going to be covered in an email going out to everybody because they're not officially announced yet, and I'll explain why once I've covered the next thing that has been covered in the update. So the other thing that has been covered in the short video update is the native Android NFC Unlock support. So the story that surrounds this is a guy called Jeff Flowers just dropped me an email and said, "Hey, you said you were heading out. We're heading out to San Fran to meet investors, right? So we were going out to see Orgy Capital, which is the venture capital firm that we're under. Just to give them an update, just to kind of say, hey, this is what we're doing." And we were also meeting, who else? There was a bunch of other big tech companies and small, loads of cool companies. But we were going out there. Oh yeah, that was it. It was to visit a bunch of the R&D locations that we use. So we were going out to San Fran, and I posted a update saying, "Oh, I'm going to be going out to San Fran. If anybody wants to meet up for a beer, or if you just want to hang out, then let me know." And Jeff got in touch and said, "Hey," it might have even been before, and said, "Hey, if you want to hang out, sounds really good." And I said, "Yeah, that sounds sweet. Let's meet up." We met up, and we I think on that day we'd had an invite through to, he'd organised an invite through to meet Google. Now there is a problem with me talking about this, and that's that all the stuff is under NDA, which is a bit of a shame in some ways. So I'm gonna just kind of skirt around some stuff. Jeff is really the key driving factor, and also thanks to a guy called Paul, who really, I need to keep these people not anonymous, but I just don't want to get people in trouble. There's reasons that these NDAs are in place, and they're all really, really good people that believe in good software, promoting our use case of unlocking a phone with NFC. A bunch of Googlers have got NFC rings. But business is what business is, and I don't want to violate the terms of an NDA because we've got a good working relationship there. So really, Jeff organised this, and I've spoken to Jeff and said, "Is it all right if I mention you in this update?" And he said, "Yeah, that's fine," which is great. So I think it's the person that I can mention. So it's been a huge milestone for us. What can I talk about as far as the process that we went through? I probably can't even cover the meetings that we had. Or even say we had meetings. Like, this is the problem, right? It'd be nice if I was able to talk about it, but business is business. But the upshot is, right, that we've got NFC ring unlock functionality in Android now. Like, no download from us, no hacking around the lock screen. Real lock screen with NFC, which means which means all of our security issues now fall into Android Core or AOSP. And this was really one of our things. Like, early on, I said, look, this is the way that we're going, and we still maintain the NFC ring unlock software because, you know, due diligence and good business and everything, and good making sure that we're looking after our backers means that we've got to support the stuff that we introduced with, which was, you know, the right thing to do. But whilst we've been supporting that software, we've also learnt a lot from doing it, and that's really what we've been sharing, not just with companies, but also with our community, and sharing as much kind of insight and getting feature requests from people and enhancements and implementing them, and then finding out what works and what doesn't work. So there's a bunch of really cool stuff that we've done around that. The biggest thing that we've done recently was the Tasker implementation, right? So that was kind of a pretty cool thing to do. But now we don't have to. Well, so we still got to maintain that piece of software, right? That's not a problem. We still choose to maintain that piece of software. But now we can kind of shift our focus towards our use case specifics around NFC Unlock. So the Google team can maintain the core part, right, of security layer, you know, the basics of the implementation, but we can start doing stuff like extending functionality by providing small tag sweet spot data, or providing background widgets, or, you know, stuff like that. Loads and loads of really cool stuff that we can do on top of this. But it just means that that main core piece of functionality, which we were maintaining before, at quite a high cost. I mean, I'm not to complain about the costs, but, you know, it was a big part of our revenue stream was going into maintaining that software. With Ken, who's been the main developer. There's been 3 in total people, maybe 4 that have been involved on our side, and now we don't have to do a lot of the work, which means that we can focus on, you know, what makes NFC Ring special, which is so cool. So yeah, big thanks to Jeff, and big thanks to the Googlers. Big thanks to Ken and Chris and everybody that's been involved. Oh, and big thanks to everybody that's been just like posting GitHub issues and thoughts and comments. And to the guys on the forum, Lockie, love from no more. And the guys in IRC, you know, again, say this every week, but it's we're mostly kind of MBM's been really involved, Diaz, and a bunch of other people. Yeah, really, they're the kind of the key guys from the IRC, but they've been really holding stuff down, and SGX as well, and helping people out when they come into the channel, and also just posting on the forum, which is great. And I've not been that active on the forum over the last few weeks because we've just been crazy busy. But they're the 2 main things that have happened to press that we can talk about. I guess the other thing that we can talk about is FedEx shipping is now available. So this moves us on to what's coming soon. Now, these probably won't go out as a Kickstarter update. Like I say, it's in part of a bigger email. So we've been doing a lot of prep work in the back end for Christmas. And there's a big announcement going to be made. And I'm going to cover some of that stuff in the announcement. Let me just bring it up. Let's see, where are you? There we go. So this is mostly like logistic stuff and information, and we've shared most of it on IRC as we've been working through it. But, you know, if you're on the mailing list and you catch these bits, and you probably not watch this video, there's not that many people that watch these videos anyway. So, the first thing that we haven't even announced yet is that you can now pay for a ring with PayPal. That's actually been available for a few weeks / months. And that's coincided with actually rings coming back in stock. Like, this is how little we've kind of communicated with the larger audience, because we've been communicating about stuff, you know, like updates on software and stuff like that. That stuff like paying with PayPal and rings being back in stock have actually been second importance. So another thing that's now available is shipping worldwide with FedEx, so you can have a ring within like 3 to 5 days, which is awesome. And there is actually, this is a hidden thing, by the way, that's on the store. Any order above, it's £70 is free shipping. So there you go. There's a little Easter egg for you. We've not announced that. been on there for about a week or so. A few people have stumbled upon it and been really excited. But yeah, we've kind of kept it low key just because we've been busy, you know, with fulfillment and busy with just growing the business and busy with handling it, all the requests and everything as they've been landed. We actually introduced gift boxes a while ago. I'm surprised it's in there. And then gift vouchers as well. That's covered, but this is going out in the update. Yeah, alpha rings are available, which we've covered. The stickers are now available. So let me see. I've actually. Oh, this is going to be an issue. I've stuck them down, and they're really sticky. Yeah. Well, have a look on the store. Search for stickers, and you will see there's some awesome NTAC 216 actually stickers. So it gives you a bit of an insight of where we're going, which ICs we've got our hands on. We're doing a lot of work around different ICs at the moment. Again, unfortunately, that's all under NDA. But that's going to be a really exciting space for us, is releasing new rings with new ICs. Simply because it just allows for additional cryptography and stuff like that. You know, you guys know the advantages of doing that. So the other thing that we've been working on is new packaging, which we shall be going into production with soon. There's a little bit of a teaser of what that looks like. The new ring blanks, which we've just been showing off on IRC. These are just embryo type things. So cast. Yeah, loads of really, really cool stuff. The carbon fibre alternative landed at mine today, pre-pregged, but not cured. So it was not supposed to come to me. It was supposed to go to be cured. What it happens is you get the mat in and then you pre-preg it and then you cure it. And then you end up with a carbon fibre kind of sheet that's been it's basically epoxy, right? They're just injecting epoxy into it. That's gone off today. It's gone to the post office today because FedEx International obviously don't do national shipping, but that should land Monday, Tuesday. I don't know. It's Royal Mail that'll go first class, so yeah, probably Monday, Tuesday. And then I might have that back by the end of the week, so we might have that material by then. But we've also been experimenting with other materials. Do I have them in here? Don't think I do. I think I put them back in the box. So the other materials are some things that we've stumbled upon that provide quite an interesting potential solution, but they're a material that we're not very experienced with. So that's moving forward. And really, again, we're just so blocked by this new carbon fibre material that we're developing. It actually came 4 days late. We were supposed to basically be like 2 weeks ahead, but then they ran out of stock, and then we had to weave some more because when the stock then came in, and it's just because it's all completely one-off custom stuff. It's taking forever, but it's moving forward. The other thing, right? So the other big thing that we've got coming up is US distribution. Now as you guys know, we've got a center in US that we do some office-based work from, but we're also going to have distribution in California, and this means that we can do US fulfillment with USPS, and it also means we'll do Mexico and Canada from there, which those guys are basically better just get the rings much quicker. There may be limited stock, not ring stock, but the stickers, for example, we've not shipped over yet. But the reason that that's been on hold is because our main contact over there has been through some surgery. He's had some surgery over the last few days, and thankfully he seems to have come out of it absolutely fine. So we've all been really, really nervous, and we're really grateful and thankful that he's come out of that. Yay science! We're grateful to the surgeon that did his surgery, that he didn't have a bottle of wine the morning that he did his. I don't know why I'd suggest that, but yeah, we're just really grateful that he's come out of it cool, and that means that we'll be able to move forward with our US fulfillment plans. And that leads me lovely onto Amazon, which is our next big project. The NFC ring being on Amazon is a weird one because the NFC ring really, the majority of the initial early adopters were kind of the hacker tech audience, right? So that's what you get on Kickstarter. But then once we got large enough and there was enough momentum on Kickstarter, then we got not so early adopters, so the kind of consumers. And you know, we were always kind of focused on the early adopters, on the tech people, so that they can build stuff on top of the NFC ring, because us pigeonholing people doesn't help anybody. If you actually look on the forum, you'll see the real creativity is going on there. All we're doing is the grind work, you know, the embodiment and the fulfillment. We do have some exciting projects, and we're sponsoring and trying to help move forward and funding all of the hackers to create new awesome things, so that the consumers can purchase them from the awesome hackers. But Amazon puts us in a weird space where we're going straight to consumer. So we're really mindful of that. We're spending a lot of time getting our listings right and making sure that the rings arrive on time and that there's an adequate returns process in place and that we don't overstretch ourselves and all of these things. And it's now, so I will record this video on the Friday. This update will probably go out on the, I don't know, we've got a date schedule for this. This goes out on Saturday. We'll be promoting and bringing the US store to people's attention on Wednesday. So you can assume that probably by the week after, maybe the next Monday, we'll be live on Amazon, because again, you don't want to rush these things. And yeah, so that's going to be big for us. That's going to be an interesting challenge. It's going to be an interesting new audience. Amazon have been really good, I have to say, actually, like exceptionally good. So Amazon reached out to us, which we were very, very lucky about. So I'm not taking this for granted in any way, shape or form. And I'm not under an NDA with Amazon, which is nice. And your opinion on Amazon and PayPal and a lot of these companies, obviously, some of the names are slightly tarnished, but ultimately, if it helps us reach a larger audience, and it means that we can expand operations at the rate that we'd like to, that's great. I mean, we can only live off the PayPal, the Bitcoin audience for so long, and once you get into the Amazon audience, it's more impulse purchases, which it's a gift and a curse. Don't think that we don't realise that. Yeah, they reached out to us on the UK side and the US side, and initially they wanted to list us as a piece of wearable tech, and we said, well, that's fine, however, you need to provide product size variations, and we have 20 some product size variations. We're not some cheap rubbish ring that don't fit properly. We're proper, genuine, attention to detail, quality, something that you wear, you know, as a ring 24/7 forever, or for as long as you want. And they said, all right, no worries, we'll just list as jewelry. And we went, yeah, about that, your jewelry section is closed off. And that's one of the things, that Amazon don't allow new people to list jewelry. We weren't particularly pursuing that at the time, and so we just said, oh well, we can't actually, so we'll just leave it, you know, don't worry about it too much. And they went, oh no, well, let's see what we can do. And they've been really good. They went back, they've had a bunch of internal conversations, they've introduced us to a bunch of other companies, and they've introduced us to a bunch of their internal people, and they've sorted it all out. They've got it all listed. We've had individual person, and I'm really grateful for that. You know, it's way beyond kind of the Call of Duty. So I think thanks goes to Amazon. You know, it's impressive that they'd help small guy. You know, because we're still a small startup, despite having that the launch that we've had and the success over the last year and a half, 2 years now. So that's where we're at with that, yeah, and then it should be really interesting. So then everything's just a run up to Christmas, right? So we're not going to spam you guys, don't worry. You know our style is going to be very much like introducing products and introducing new things and focusing on improving your experience. But really what we wanted to do was get a kind of core setup. So if you wanted to buy a ring for a friend, you could buy a gift voucher on the store. Or if you wanted to buy a direct gift, but you needed it there, you know, with guaranteed time frame, Amazon's a great way of doing that. You'd still be able to do it through the store, but a lot of people just don't like putting their credit card details in a third-party websites, which is totally understandable. You know, obviously we run through Shopify with our back end, but you know, Amazon's there. We won't be using FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon, which is when they hold stock. We'll be fulfilling ourselves. Which is fine because we've got a US center, and the Amazon fulfillment initially will be US only, We will probably extend that out to other areas of the globe, but I think that will be something that we do once we've proved we're successful to Amazon in the US, and then we'll be able to reach out to other Amazons, or get Amazon to reach out to other Amazons and organise our product listings. And maybe we have been invited to do FBA, but we just want to take things, small steps, right? Because worst case scenario is we end up getting a lot of really bad reviews because we couldn't deliver for whatever reason because we weren't set up right, and then that ends up just screwing us forever, and nobody needs that. We can take our time and do it right. So I think that's pretty much everything covered. There's been a bunch of NFC ring control updates, actually. Let me just quickly bring up that. I've been working on it like crazy. So loads more translations. The last commits were October the 16th. My last commit was I'm an idiot. So I did some intent fixes. Oh, that's right. I know the big thing that's happened on that is so when we take your sweet spot data, before we were just taking the XY, but what we weren't taking was the whole screen, and what having the whole screen XY gives us is the size of your device. So let's say, right, you've got this, and we need to know where this point is, inside this square. Well, we can do a visual representation of where this point is if we know the whole max X and max Y. So, like if your screen's that big, we need to know the screen's that big, so we know that the sweet spot's that big. Getting that data is really useful for us, but we don't want to bug you guys for it. If you do want to share it, then just load up the NFC Ring Control app and go to settings and then reinsert my sweet spot location. That will then push up the new max X and max Y, and we just only need a few of those per device. We need some so we can do validation of data sets and stuff. And then what we're doing with that data is something really cool, actually. It's a little side project, but it's something that helps a lot of companies and a lot of people, is that we're building a visual representation of the sweet spot data that's available online. So when you go to Amazon, or whether you go to wherever, and you wanted to buy any small tag device, so it could be an implanted NFC device, it could be a ring, it could be a necklace, it could be any of these things, earring, blah, blah, blah. What you'll be able to do is to look to see how big the sweet spot is on your device. So you'll be able to basically do like a compatibility check. Once we've got this data down and formatted, we've already got like a visual representation, and we've already got down, and we've got validation and all these kinds of things. What we'll do once we've got that data, and we already have done actually, is publish all of the data. We've published all of the server code for it, and we've published all of the front end code for it, and we've actually published the database as well. So the whole thing's available in open source. And the idea is that we'll be able to then provide hardware manufacturers the ability to preload that information onto a smartphone. So say, for example, you are using something like NFC Unlock in Android. What you'll be able to do is to have the sweet spot information visual applied to the screen, so you can see where to hold the tag to. So it's not just like hold the tag to the back of your device. It'll literally be hold the tag here on the back of your device. And that just improves NFC for everybody, right? This is what we set out to do. We didn't just set out to sell a bunch of rings. We set out to really change the way that people interact with the technology, and the best way that we can do that is through open source and sharing as much information as possible. So so that's pretty much it. I think there's been a lot going on. It's a long video, always is. Any questions? You guys know how to get at me. Best way is IRC. I'm also on email. And keep on following the coin, guys. Peace and bananas.